So yesterday, Tony Has Died, put out a questionnaire on my Instagram story that basically said, ask me anything about UFC 323. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, do all that YouTube shit. And let's get straight into this, starting with the first question. Do you think Merab Dvalishvili is circumcised? All right, bro. You know, if it wasn't you, Davi, asking the question, I would have just completely ignored this shit, bro. But since it's you asking, let me say this. Merab Dvalishvili is of the Eastern Orthodox Christian religion, and typically Eastern Orthodox Christians do not get circumcised. So, do I think Merab is circumcised? Probably not, okay? The next question is, why is Peyton Talbot the favorite? Kid got craftied up by Ronnie Barcelos, beat one of the good Brazilian grapplers. So, I guess he's talking about the win for Peyton Talbot over Felipe Lima. I don't really necessarily think Felipe Lima is a pure grappler per se. Like, he's definitely not the level of grappler that Cejudo is. So, do I think that Peyton Talbot should be the favorite? Probably not, because I'm going to pick Cejudo. I'm not 100% picking Cejudo yet, but I am pretty sure that I'm going to pick Cejudo in this fight. I've just seen Peyton Talbot struggle against lesser competition than Cejudo. But, yeah, man, I don't really get why Peyton Talbot's the favorite. I guess you could say he's younger. You know, Cejudo hasn't really been going to the grappling much as of lately. That's the arguments for Talbot. It's like Cejudo, yeah, he's probably a better striker all around. Not striker, but he's definitely a better grappler all around. But he hasn't really been using his grappling in his fights lately. So I guess that's why Talbot's the favorite, but I just don't agree with it. I do believe Cejudo will defeat Talbot. The next one is by a good friend of the channel, MMA Shay. He says, thoughts on Judaism. Now, you know, my lawyer has advised me not to answer this question, Shay. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to duck your question about my thoughts on Judaism. I have no problem with Jewish people, though, so that's, I'll say that, all right? But that's my thoughts, all right? The next question is, how fast do you think someone gets put out in McKinney versus Duncan? So here's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be a classic Chris Duncan performance where he gets hurt early by McKinney, and McKinney always does hurt his opponents early. But I do think that Christian Duncan is good enough to survive the early onslaught of Terrence McKinney, and I do think that he'll probably end up submitting or knocking out Terrence McKinney in round 2 or 3. So I'm kind of leaning towards a round 2 KO for Duncan at this moment. The next question is, was the dress blue and black or was it white and gold? Now, I remember back in the heyday of the dress, people were acting like this was Crips and Bloods, bro. Like, they were like, you really think that shit white and gold? I'm going to slime your whole family out. You know, that's the type of shit they were saying about the dress. But I was in the blue and black gang, man. I'm looking at the dress right now, and it's blue and black. There's no question in my mind, all right? The next question is thoughts on Bogdan Gruskov's level. I don't think he's that good. I think he's good, but I don't think he's good enough to beat Blachowicz. That's what I think, bro. I think Blachowicz will probably end up getting it done. The next question is, yo, Tony, Joshua Van or King Von? What does that even mean, bro? What could that possibly even mean, all right? The next one is Umar next if Jan loses? I do think so. I know a lot of people aren't going to like that take because I agree if this was any other division, I think Umar would probably have to get another win to face Merab, but because Merab has beaten Cejudo, beat Aldo, beat O'Malley twice, beat Sandhagen, beat Jan, and if Jan loses, then he'll beat Jan twice. That's insane. If Merab clears out, I just think that Umar is the only competitive fight with Merab. So, yeah, I think that Umar is next. So, yeah. The next one is, my birthday is on the same night as UFC 323. Wish me a happy birthday. Real Dizzy D, happy birthday, bro. The next question is, would you let Joshua Van crack? Yes, bro. The next one is, fights you're most excited about on the card. Obviously, it's got to be Joshua Van versus Pantoja. I honestly thought that this should have been the main event over the main event that we have, which is Merab versus Jan, because I think that this is a much more competitive fight. Like with Merab versus Jan, I'm pretty sure we're all going to pick Merab. But I think with Pantoja Vaughn, we're going to be there are going to be people leaning towards Vaughn because of the Ursec performances for Pantoja, and there's going to be people picking Pantoja just because of the insane experience advantage that he's going to have over Joshua Vaughn. But dude, let's be for real, man. This is going to be a fucking banger. Van's last fight was fight of the year. If he can get, this will be like his 6th fight in like a year. I want to see it, bro. So yeah, next fight. The next question is, do you think Taira Shan will avenge Senpai Asakura and take the title? I do think that Tatsuro Taira is a future champion. I do think so. I think he's good enough and he's young enough to improve his mistakes that he made in the Royval fight. I do think that he will most likely defeat Brandon Royval in their fight as well. Brandon. No, he's fighting Moreno. I think he's going to beat Moreno. Yeah, I think he's going to be champion. I don't know if he's going to beat Pantoja for the belt, though. I think once Van gets the belt, Flyweight's about to get crazy. So, yeah. The next one says, who would win in a dance battle, Merab or Peter Yan? I think Peter Yan would win, bro. I've seen Merab's dancing. He does like that shit. You know the video with Shevchenko after he wins the belt. He does like that Georgian dance. I don't think he has aura, bro. I don't think that's aura. I think that's weak sauce, honestly. I think Blachowicz. I think Peter Yan would destroy him in a dance battle. So yeah. The next one is, who should Joshua Van's first title defense be? I think if Joshua Van defeats Pantoja, his first title defense should be against the winner of Taira and Moreno. So yeah. The next question is, why is Ilia ducking Armen? Ilia isn't ducking Armen, bro. He's not. He just wants to get the best opportunity, okay? I guess you could say that's ducking, but I think that he understands that the UFC is a business, and the fight that he has with, I guess he is kind of ducking him, bro. To an extent, he's ducking him, but I get why he's ducking him. It's not because he doesn't think he could beat him. It's because the fight with Paddy Pimblett and the fight with Islam Makhachev, I feel like would sell like 2 times more pay-per-views than the fight with Armen, like just straight up, because I understand that we have to make this about the casuals, bro, but the casuals know who Islam is and the casuals know who Paddy is. The casuals don't know who Armen is, bro. And so it makes sense that he's calling for these other fights rather than Armen, but I think he'll fight Armen, bro. I think that that's the fight they're going to make next. The next question is, do you watch One Championship? No, bro, I don't watch One Championship. I've watched a couple of them before. Like I watched Mighty Mouse Trilogy with Adriano Martins. I watched, a couple of Muay Thai Rod Tang fights and shit. But no, I'm not. I don't watch One Championship. I used to watch it a little bit in the mornings. Like I remember there was like a Super Lek fight or a Super Bond fight. Everyone has like weird names too, bro. It's like Super Lek, Super Bond, Super. I don't know, just crazy rant. Like, what are these names in One Championship, bro? You gotta get more creative with them. But Haggerty is pretty good. DeRitter was good when he was still there. That guy that beat DeRitter, I can't remember his name. He's pretty good. But they have a bunch of good fighters. But I don't think the organization will exist in a couple of years. So no, I don't watch One Championship. The next question, according to you, is Pantoja going to be able to submit Vaughn? What do you mean, according to you? I never said that Pantoja is going to submit Vaughn. Are you just asking me, is Pantoja going to submit Vaughn? No, I don't think so. I think Joshua Van's probably going to win, man. I'm going to pick Van, I think. Not 100% locked in on it yet, but I am at this moment leaning more towards the side of Joshua Van. But yeah. The next one says, will old Grandpa Jan be able to do anything at this point? First of all, don't call him an old grandpa. This guy is fucking goated, bro. He walks out to the Skyrim theme song, bro. Don't hate on fucking Jan Blachowicz, bro. That's the first thing. Second thing, yes, bro. This guy went to a split decision with Pereira. He went to a split decision with Ankalaev. He went to a split decision with Carlos Olber. Do we really, like, are we, oh yeah, bro. Jan's wash. Those are 3 people in the top 5 that he arguably could have beaten. His only loss really could be to Glover Teixeira as of recently, if you really want to, like, focus in on Blahovich's career. So saying, will Grandpa Jan be able to do anything at this point. Guskov isn't that crazy, bro. He's not that crazy of an opponent. Blachowicz has beaten people that are better than him, and he's fought people that are better than him. And he has shown that he is still able to fight at the highest level at this age. So I don't get why you would pick Guskov, man. Let's talk about the next fight. I keep saying next fight. It's the next question, bro. Let's talk about the next question. If Merab wins, where is he on the GOAT list? I don't know, man. I gotta, like, once we hit 20K, I'm gonna do the 20 best fighters. Once I hit 20K on YouTube, we're gonna do a GOAT list. And that will be very interesting for the community, to say the least. But he's definitely top 10, man. Like, if he beats Peter Yan, another former champion on his resume, 14 fight win streak. Yeah, man, you gotta have Peter. You have to have Merab up there. But I'm not like one of these people. I don't like making GOAT lists like after one guy defends his belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to see how it ages compared to other wins. But yeah, let's talk about the next question. Is if you ever step in Cincinnati, it'll be the last place you are ever seen. Okay, bro. You know I'm friends with Joe Burrow, right? You know I'm friends with Joe Burrow. I'm friends with Jamar Chase. We go way back when he was at LSU. If you can't tell by my accent, I live close to LSU. Me and Joe Burrow, we're good friends. So I don't know who you think you're talking to, but I actually run the streets of Cincinnati, buddy. So yeah. The next question is Merab above Khabib all time if he wins this? I don't know how to tell you Khabib fans this, but Merab is already above Khabib all time. So yeah. The next question is, do you think prime Tony Ferguson would have at least had a war with Khabib? I don't think so, bro. I think prime Tony, I think he's a little overrated. I hate to say it. I do think that prime Tony is a bit overrated because he got out-grappled by Kevin Lee, bro. He got out-grappled by fucking Kevin Lee. But yeah, he got taken down by, like, Kevin Lee. He got taken down by the other guy, Anthony Pettis. Like, I think if Khabib gets you down, he's going to hold you down. I don't think he would be able to submit Tony. I think it would probably go to a decision, and it kind of similar to like JDM versus Islam kind of fight, you know, like kind of not very entertaining, but I do think Khabib would probably just lay on top of Tony, all right? The next fighter, I keep saying the next fighter. The next question is, if Pantoja beats Van, do you think he should move up or should he try and lap the division? I mean, I think he should try to move up after a couple of wins, bro. Like, I don't know if after Vaughn, like, maybe he should fight Tyra. I don't think he should fight Moreno a fucking fourth time. I don't think he should fight, like... Let me think here. Definitely shouldn't fight Moreno a fourth time. Definitely shouldn't fight Royval again. He already beat Kopp. I mean, you look at the top of the division, he's already beaten most of the people in the division, you know? So, yeah, I say maybe, maybe he could fight Tyra. But if he wants to move up, then fuck it, bro. He's done enough to move up. He's cleared out the division, so yeah. And the final question is Jan beating Guskov? Yes, I think Jan is going to beat Guskov, all right. Short little video today, just a little questionnaire, but that will do it for the video. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for watching. I was just going to get a little quick video in after Thanksgiving, so I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.